Okay. Putting the buttons to do the things. And, hey everyone. This is Chaotic Teal, and... got that. We're gonna... play... A Link to the Past ROM hack, because why not? So I know very little about The Legend of Zelda Parallel Worlds. I know that this is a different intro, actually. Something about the Triforce sleeping on the eastern Sky Islands. Don't hack and do it. But yeah, what I do know, or at least what I think I know, is that Parallel Worlds is difficult. And it may or may not make use of some glitches that I don't know how to do. So... basically it'll be fine. And I probably won't get far enough anyway that I won't be able to play the game. Oh, those maidens are dead. Okay, they might have just been sent to the Shadow Realm. There's a Link to the Past ROM. Also, it fortunately looks like I don't record at a high enough frame rate to get the epilepsy triggering effects of... Okay, I might get some of them. Anyway, we're just gonna play the game. We're gonna play the friggin' game. Holy crap, it's got enough characters. Holy crap, I don't have pink hair. Tower, Dragor, Tyrant Adventures, Plans, into the guardhouse. Rescue someone from the prison, Breaker's Plans, Foil, In or Aluminum. Okay. Do I have a pokey stick? No, but I can slap a man. Slap a man is pretty much what I can do. Oh, that's a straight up Minish Cap Choo-Choo. That's bizarre to see in this style. Okay, world map is reasonably different. Can't believe Pacific Log Town is in my world now. Oh, actually, I should... yeah. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't... It looks like they've completely changed the map. If I go into this cave, will I get a sword? Decidedly not. Finish cap, look at Choo-Choo's back. Can I take this axe? I would feel much better if I had anything that I could hit stuff with that wasn't like shrubberies. Oh well. I'll go the wrong way. Do that, it's illegal. I'm on Vanilla Beach at the moment. I can't lift that, no power bracelets. I can't go around those trees. This beach reminds me of Link's Awakening. It's probably at least partially because of the coconuts. But I guess I can't really go any further here. Unless I jumped in the water, but that would probably just kill me. And by kill me, I mean maim. Or seriously injure. It'd be a little bit unforgiving if the response to "Can I swim?" it was "Die." Oh, you don't like me. That's fair. I am the rebellion. Down Forest Beach. Beat Choo-Choo with shrubbery. Figure's been acting strange lately. Zelda's been kidnapped. Tower's empty. Guardhouse is north of the village. Guards are okay with chatting, but not too much. That guard is not okay with chatting. He will stab me in the kneecaps. Though I'm really not sure why he'd choose the kneecaps to stab me. Cemetery seems safe. The man does not want me to go into the cemetery. Oh, that's one of the ones that will actually try to hunt me down. Got it. Do I have a sword yet? Okay, so that's an Armos Knight. He would like for me to perish. That goes back out. If this is the way through the caves, they weren't kidding. It is a substantially more treacherous route. At least I imagine it is. Oh hey, this leads back to my house. Can I have a heart, please? Or like 2 of them? Like playing an old Pokemon game. Oh, good, a lamp. Unfortunately, I'm still dying. Also, unfortunately, my lamp can't even set shrubberies on fire. And I don't have a sword. Lamp can't even burn Choo-Choo. I'm sorry that my foolishness has led us to a point where we're just going to be hearing beeping for the next 16 years. Hello. Well, at least he healed me. I could be upset that he took my rupees, but... I'm just happy the beeping stopped. Get past them. Hello there. Nope. Don't need anything from here. Though, funny enough, I could have spent the same amount of money healing at that shop. Oh, cool, that just gives me bombs. I can appreciate that. I guess that at some point I could, like, go the correct direction. Oh, nice. Guess that's all there is here, though. And there doesn't seem to be much reason to light that torch. Unfortunate. Of course not. Now that's just spiteful. Yep, can't lift those. That's not gonna let me through there, and that one's not gonna let me through there. The question becomes, where do I go? I guess I did pull to the west a little bit. So I can probably head further north. Not that way, though. Now we're back on the path to the cemetery. Hopefully I don't get arrested for throwing a bush at that man. And then I went in not even remotely the right direction. That's basically how. Oh, sweet. I'll take it. At least my meandering around isn't totally fruitless. Is born at least 1 1/4 fruit. Of course, I still have to avoid being shanked. Hey, yellow guards, why are the green guards so much angrier than you? I really can't get through that one. On rocks. Right, that was the fortune tower. Rude. Okay. Can, but it doesn't do anything. So I've heard. Go up those stairs. Bizarre. That looks like a place where I could use Italian. I definitely can't lift a large block yet. Probably should have lit that torch. I guess it wouldn't have done anything. Oh, there's one. This seems, fine. So, full disclosure. I haven't played Link to the Past since freshman year of college. And I don't remember playing Link to the Past at all freshman year of college. I know that I did. And the only reason I know that I did, rude, is that I started replaying the entire Zelda series to prepare for Breath of the Wild coming out. And oh, good. And I got through everything up to Majora's Mask. I still have never finished Majora's Mask 3D, which is the version that I was playing. And I know that I played through every other game in the series. Or I played through every game before Ocarina of Time during the first semester. Because I was playing them in order. Why is there just a spike in this room? And I played Ocarina of Time on an actual N64. Because I think that I actually... Excuse me? Okay. Anyway, I think that I actually got my N64 around that time. I guess I have a key. But I'm fairly certain... Hi. You wanna go literally anywhere else? Literally anywhere else. I'll take it. I can work with that. But yeah, I'm fairly certain that when I got my N64, that was a gift. And it came with Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, and, like, Turok. I think those were the 3 games that I had on the N64. So of course, my immediate response was to go to the local retro game store and make them very convinced that I was actually insane, because I purchased Superman 64. I have 2 regular keys. Why not just, like, cram them in the keyhole and... No. But yeah, while I was home over Christmas break that year, I played through the entirety of Ocarina of Time on cart. If memory serves, I haven't looked at my games for a bit, but if memory serves, the only Zelda games that I don't own on their original consoles are Oracle of Seasons and Link to the Past. I technically also don't have a Game Boy Color copy of Link's Awakening DX. But I do have it on the original Game Boy. Oh, that's a key door back there. Darn it. That's fine. I've got more of those. But yeah, point is, I know that I played Link to the Past on the 3DS at that point. I didn't have the GBA with me. I guess I don't actually remember whether I have Link to the Past on the Wii U Virtual Console. I'm pretty sure I never bought it on the Wii, because I had it on GBA. And I suppose that if we're being technical, I don't have Twilight Princess on the GameCube. I have it on the Wii. I have another small key, but I want to check this way first. Oh no. Well, this is a problem. Please go somewhere else. What? Fine. Oh, that's a ball and chain knight. That's another one. They take more than 2 pots to kill. The little shanky ones don't actually chase me. Broadsword ones chase me. There are so many places that I could use my key here. I suppose I don't technically know that I can use my key on any of them. No bother. But I don't want to find out and look like an idiot that I just opened a locked door that contained a pot. Yeah, one of them was gonna hit me. That's interesting. Oh, this is a sad room. Sad room. At least these don't work like they do in Link's Awakening, where they create pits. There we go. Oh, neat. Now we gotta go back to that big chest. How the heck do I get back to that big chest? Oh, good grief. Okay, so that wasn't as good of a strategy as my last one. But you know what? I'm closer to the big key, or to the big chest. I have the big key. I guess it only says you might be able to open it. That's bizarre, though, because I feel like... if you have the big key, the game should just let you open that chest. I think it's weird that it is possible for a big chest to exist in a realm where there is a big key, and for it not to work. This is a problem. I'm gonna get stabbed. I've been stabbed. All of that just to get another regular key. Not even on a second attempt. I do hope that the thing, I hope the big chest thing isn't just a glitch. That does a lot of damage. These are way better at navigating than I remember them being. I don't think I'm going to make it out of this room. Plot twist, I made it out of that room. I'm not making it through that one, though. Ah, good. The beeping is done. Oh. Why is that how that works? Oh dear. I am deceased. Yep, this is definitely harder than Link to the Past. With due respect to Link to the Past, I don't remember it being a very difficult game for the most part. At some point I should just sit down and rank the Zelda games. Like, not by any objective means, because what's the fun in that? Just do a tier list of the ones that I like the most. That sounds like a good time. Okay, just let me through. The good news is, I can kill a man now. The bad news is, Spice can still kill me. That wasn't a foot shield. Oh, thank goodness the sword has a catch items box in this game. Now, I kind of wonder why it works that way. It's probably because the sword counts as an extension of the player's hitbox. Good, that man is dead. We need another key. Unfortunately, acquiring another key required me to stab several more men, I would imagine. You know, I was about to say, I think if I die again, I'm going to turn this into a let's rank Zelda games stream. I think I'm just gonna do that. Nobody can stop me. Let's make a Zelda games tier list. Right, I don't have a mouse. Because I'm using the capture card. Okay, you know, what we'll do... We'll save and quit here. do. Now I can just... That's inconvenient. Actually, we're gonna do it again. Okay, now it's working again. And it's this. This is a little bit of an odd one. I'll keep it open just in case. But I want to see... Well, this one says all Zelda games. Ooh, that one includes Hyrule Warrior. Okay. I'm just gonna have to pick one. Okay. That's odd. OBS doesn't say I've dropped any frames. Anyway. Okay. I'm just gonna... This is what happens when I try to modify this. Like, actively. That's too much. Yeah, that looks about right. We'll just put that in front of the webcam and it's fine. Okay. So this is what we're doing now, because it's my channel and I do what I want. Nobody can stop me. Okay. I really don't know what YouTube's on about with not getting smooth enough video. Anyway, starting point. Minish Cap is my favorite Zelda game. This is a known quantity. Beyond that, Zelda 2 is my least favorite? Question mark. It's not that there aren't any games in the main Zelda series that I actively dislike. But I've finished every game in the Zelda series. I'm fairly certain that Zelda 2 is the only one that I've never finished without save states. Because it's really difficult. From here, I guess we'll just go down the list. The list is weirdly ordered. Zelda 1. I really like Zelda 1. It can go here until I change my mind. Wind Waker is probably my second or third favorite of the 3D Zelda games. I think it's gonna go... This is GameCube Wind Waker, which means that it's the version of Wind Waker I've finished, but it also means that it's the version of Wind Waker that didn't do all of the nice things that the HD version did. Because the HD version made the Triforce quest way less of a pain, and it Swift Sail. It gave you the Swift Sail. So it sucks less. It can still go in A. Hyrule Warriors is weird to rank. I mean, I want it to be here because I like Hyrule Warriors. I haven't 100%ed Hyrule Warriors because I'm not insane and or Gerard. But I have put a large number of hours into Hyrule Warriors, both on the Wii U and on the 3DS. And the only games that aren't represented at all in Hyrule Warriors, I mean, Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild hadn't come out yet. It's got its own Hyrule Warriors now, that I also haven't finished. But beyond Breath of the Wild, Triforce Heroes, which also hadn't come out yet, but did come out by the time the 3DS DLC was done, I think? I could be wrong there. But Minish Cap, the Oracle games, and oddly enough, Wind Waker. No, not Wind Waker, Link to the Past. There's nothing from Link to the Past in Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors can go in B tier. It's not a very good Zelda game. It's a fun game. I enjoy Hyrule Warriors immensely. Probably not as much as Fire Emblem Warriors. Just because I think there are some game design improvements that happened in Fire Emblem Warriors. Four Swords Adventures is also weird. My gut inclination is to put it in C, because while I have finished it, I have only played it by myself. I've watched a couple of multiplayer playthroughs. I watched the one that Super Genius did years ago that didn't end up getting finished. And I've watched the one that the Runaway Guys did with Steven that did get finished. And that was hilarious. But my actual experience with the game is... Maybe I'll put it like low B tier. Low B, high C. It's not a bad game. Again, I mean, even Zelda 2 is not a bad game. This is essentially, I'm going to rank the Zelda games on a scale of Minish Cap to Zelda 2, which isn't a scale that makes sense to anyone but me. But that's fine. We'll put it in high C until I have a reason to change my mind. I'm not sure why the GBA version of Link to the Past is here. The only reason that I could guess is that it's here because of Four Swords. In which case, like high B. High B for Four Swords. One of my fondest memories of playing games as a kid, which is weird to say, it was like 2011. 12 or 13 still counts as a kid, I would say. But my best friend and I were playing Four Swords Anniversary Edition after a soccer game. And I was just reading the great fairy lines at the end of the levels in this horrible, high-pitched, screechy voice that we both thought was hilarious. We were dying. It's a good memory. I haven't completely finished Four Swords Anniversary Edition, because the bonus levels that were added in Anniversary Edition were really hard. And I've only ever had one friend who had it. So, only being able to play it with either one player switching between two links or two players, it's tough. Majora's Mask. Probably my favorite 3D Zelda game. I'm gonna put it in high S tier for now. Unless and until I figure out a reason to put it higher. I guess I should change the title of the stream. We're just gonna... There we go. Okay, anyway. Yeah, unless I figure out a reason to put it up into double S tier, it's just gonna go there. Ocarina of Time. I do like Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time 3D is the reason that I saved up to purchase a 3DS back summer 2011. That was 10 years ago. That was 10 years ago. Anyway. saved up money doing chores for months so I could get a 3DS and I could get Ocarina of Time 3D. I do like Ocarina of Time, even if there are other 3D Zelda games that I like more. Speaking of, Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have any idea where to put this game. Breath of the Wild is a weird one for me. Because it's so... I think that I have said this is a weird one for like 3 of the other games on this list so far. But Breath of the Wild is so different from any other Zelda game, with the exception of maybe Zelda 1. Gameplay-wise, I don't think I would like Breath of the Wild that much if it wasn't a Zelda game. The game's beautiful. And, I mean, I got a Switch day 1 so I could play Breath of the Wild. And I think I am becoming more content with the fact that Breath of the Wild can be an exception. It can be an exception to my usual desire to complete games. They're just so much Breath of the Wild. And especially as I've gotten older, I don't take the time, I don't have the time to wander aimlessly. And Breath of the Wild is pretty good about rewarding just kind of wandering around. But it's also really easy to wander around that game for hours and not accomplish anything. And it all depends on your definition of accomplishment. I know that as well. It's just such a weird one. Before Breath of the Wild came out, I'm pretty sure I would know about where I would put most of these games. Breath of the Wild is the wrench in that idea. I really like the characters. I really like the world. Some parts of the gameplay aren't my thing, but the creativity of Breath of the Wild, I think, I'm gonna put it high A tier for me. Oracle of 8. This is Oracle of Seasons. Again, we're hitting the problem where I've played the Oracle games through twice each. And they're sort of colored by that fact. Because with the Oracle games, I feel like they need to be played back to back. The linked game option is super cool. I love that. But and we're going to hit a similar issue with Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, being 2 Zelda games released on the same system, then I always feel like I have to play one before I can play the other. Their gameplay styles are similar enough. I mean, especially in Oracle of Ages and Seasons, where they have the same core gameplay, that I usually get burnt out on Game Boy Color Zelda game by the time I get partway into the second one. The only times that I've played them. I played them once in high school, I think, or shortly before high school, when I got them on the 3DS Virtual Console. And then I played them again during freshman year of college. Or did I? When the heck? I'm just gonna pull up the Google Doc. That is not the correct app. I'm gonna pull up the Google Doc. Modified January 25th, 2017. No, I didn't get to them, because they came out after Majora's Mask. Also, I'd just like to point out, to the best that I can, I included all of the spin-off weird releases on this list with the full intent to at least attempt to play them. I didn't. Even freshman year of college, I wasn't quite insane enough to want to play the CDI games. Plus, from what I've heard, CDI emulation is really difficult. Anyway. So I guess I've only played the Oracle games once each. But I'm fairly certain I played Seasons first. I own Ages on cart. I haven't played it on cart. But I think I'm willing to move them up past Four Swords and Hyrule Warriors. But I think that the focus on puzzles puts Ages a little bit higher than Seasons for me. Twilight Princess. There are some people I know who would want my head for even considering putting it this low. I think I like Twilight Princess more than I like Four Swords Adventures. So it's either low B or high C for me. Stylistically, and just generally, Twilight Princess is my least favorite 3D Zelda game. Again, least favorite Zelda game is like saying least favorite type of cookie if we're excluding oatmeal raisins. Oatmeal raisin cookies can go step on a Lego. But there's not a Zelda game that I dislike. I just don't like the visual style of Twilight Princess very much. The wolf thing is cool, but it definitely has it's a very visually dark game, and that's not usually my thing. And I think its push for more quote-unquote realistic graphics at the time kind of hinders it, and the more realistic art style. The Zora designs are kind of cool. I'm less fond of the Gorons. Again, a lot of these games I've only played through once. That's the unfortunate thing, especially with like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Really, any 3D game after Majora's Mask, they're really long. They're really long games. so I'll give it low B tier. Link to the Past. Eh. I might have to do some rearranging here. I think I'm gonna move Breath of the Wild up here. You know what, I think I need to change where I'm ranking the original. I really like the original. I think I can put it there. I think that's more reasonable. Kind of mid-A tier. Because I enjoy it. But I can't pretend that, you know, Link to the Past and Wind Waker and them didn't massively improve things. We haven't gotten to several of the other games that I really enjoy. Triforce Heroes isn't one of them. It was only... Triforce Heroes is the Zelda game that I most recently finished for the first time. It was New Year's last year when I finally was able to sit down with my sister and my partner at the time, and we finished the game. We even got through the Den of Ordeals, or the Den of Trials, or whatever the thing where you have to fight the Shadow Links is called. It's not a bad game. It's interesting. I'll give it that much. It's interesting. It's weird to me that it's not considered a spin-off. Because it certainly feels like one. I mean, the other two multiplayer Zelda games, Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures, are both level-based as well. But I feel like they respect your time a lot more. And partly it's a matter of content for content's sake. Triforce Heroes has like 8 worlds with 3 levels each. But each of those 3 levels, after you finish it, has 3 additional challenges that you can try to complete one at a time, some of which are just ridiculous. And it's got the 50-floor combat trial of the Den of Trials. And the glorified crafting system that is making new outfits. Plus, single player. Don't play Triforce Heroes on your own. Please, goodness, do not. It's not worth it. So yeah, Triforce Heroes... I think it goes above Adventure of Link. I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, either one of these could be my least favorite. They're both interesting. I just think that both of them has a lot of room to be done better. Actually, I'm going to swap these two. I'm going to swap these two only because I feel like Zelda 2 gets a little bit of a pass because it was trying to be something different early on in the series. It's difficult, but it's an enjoyable game. I don't dislike it by any means. The biggest thing that makes me put that above Triforce Heroes now is that where I think both of them could be done better, Triforce Heroes already had... They'd already made a better multiplayer Zelda game. 2 of them. Also, they don't get my forgiveness for getting rid of Purple Link. I recognize that that's no longer my brand anymore, but Purple Link is still my boy, and you can't just cut him out like that. I love Spirit Tracks. The music is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite stories in the Zelda series. I love the fact that Zelda has as much personality as she does in that one, and she's not just kind of this distant, far-off objective. She's right there. She's snarky. She will sass the heck out of you, and then she will declare how strong the power of your friendship is. I love it so much. I replayed Spirit Tracks to completion like a year or 2 ago. It must have been at least 2 years ago. It was while I was in college. And it wasn't... Well, no, it would have been about 2 years ago. Been over a year since I graduated, which is insane. But the point is, I really like Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks is very good. It gets some deserved criticism, but this is my favorite Zelda games. So Spirit Tracks gets to be up there. Skyward Sword... Go, like, right there. Move Ages back up to low A for now. That's a lie. We're gonna keep Ages down here. And I am going to allow Wind Waker to include Wind Waker HD. I don't have enough experience with Twilight Princess HD to move Twilight Princess because of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I have not played Twilight Princess HD since Extra Life. The first Extra Life that I did. It had just come out around that time. We used it as the game to just play overnight. And I'm not sure I've played it at all since. Anyway, Skyward Sword. I like the story a fair bit. Girahim's kind of cool in a creepy, stalkerish way. I really like the visual style of Skyward Sword. It has its issues. I played Skyward Sword when it came out, which was 10 years ago. Nintendo, please re-release Skyward Sword on the Switch, because it's the only Zelda game that hasn't been remade at this point. And I don't know why you made Twilight Princess HD on the Wii U when the Wii U can play Twilight Princess on the Wii. But you know what? Okay, whatever. The Wolf Link and Midna amiibo's pretty sweet. But, like, Skyward Sword? The Switch can do it. It uses gyroscope, not pointer controls mostly, and 3D All-Stars proves that the Switch can do pointer controls even if they kind of suck sometimes. Skyward Sword deserves better than being a game released in 2011 on the Wii. Link's Awakening. If I were just bearing Link's Awakening DX in mind, it would probably go somewhere around here. If I'm bearing the Switch version of Link's Awakening in mind, it's like right here. Maybe not ahead of... Breath of the Wild is so difficult to rank things around. Link's Awakening on the Switch gives me serious reason to reconsider whether Minish Cap is the best game to introduce someone to the Zelda series. Minish Cap is how I introduced my ex-partner to the Zelda series. It's a fantastic game. It's short. It's, relatively easy. But it has all of the things that a 2D Zelda game has, and that the 3D Zelda games build off of. Link's Awakening on the Switch does that really well too. And it looks great. It does have some frame rate issues sometimes, but it's just, I really like Link's Awakening on the Switch. I had a very good time playing it. I think it is very good. I would love to see the Oracle games get remade in that same fashion, because they're very difficult to get at this point. And as much as I love Minish Cap, and would love to see it remade, I think Minish Cap, Game Boy Advance Minish Cap stands up better than Game Boy Color Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Link Between Worlds doesn't go down here. I think that's about right. Link Between Worlds is one of the only games that I have ever played and immediately started and gotten through. I think I got through. I don't remember at this point. But it's one of the only games where I played it through and immediately started a New Game Plus after completing it. Link Between Worlds is very good. And it saddens me that gameplay and game design-wise, Link Between Worlds is still the most recent new 2D Zelda game we've gotten. Triforce Heroes doesn't count. It is, gameplay-wise, a 2D or a top-down Zelda game. It has the game design philosophy of the likes of Link to the Past, Four Swords, Minish Cap, that sect of the Zelda series, rather than the design philosophy of Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild. It's got its own design philosophy. It's over here, but graphically, I know that neither of the 3DS games are 2D games, but they are designed like the top-down Zelda games. I would put Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks in that same boat. Link Between Worlds is very good, though. There's a lot that it does right. It handles having a relatively open world really well. With regard that you can do a lot of stuff in whatever order you choose. There are very few specific things that must be done in a specific order. The unfortunate thing is, going through all of this, I'm realizing how many Zelda games I've only played once. The games that I've replayed are Minish Cap several times, Spirit Tracks at least twice, Phantom Hourglass at least twice. I think I've only played Adventure of Link once. I played Hyrule Warriors twice because I played it through on the Wii U and then on the 3DS. But point is, the games that I've actually played more than once are Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, Ocarina of Time, Zelda 1, Phantom Hourglass, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and and I don't remember on these two. So a lot of these I'm going off of my memories that may be a decade old at this point. Or more. And like watching other people's playthroughs. As for instance... Oh, this is gonna make me feel old. The only other playthrough that was 4 years ago. It has been not quite 4 years, but it was February to May 2017 that Chugga Conroy played through Skyward Sword. So, it has been a minimum of about 4 years since I have seen Skyward Sword. And it hasn't been more recent for a lot of other games. Anyway, Phantom Hourglass. Phantom Hourglass has a special place in my heart. When I got a DS for Christmas, when I was in like 4th grade, it was the Gold Triforce Phantom Hourglass DS Lite. Ergo, Phantom Hourglass was the very first game that I ever played on the DS. And I loved it. I really like Phantom Hourglass. But it has substantial design flaws. At some point, I should really just write a post about it. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I don't have a good way to capture footage. Yeah, I was playing Parallel Worlds, and I got sidetracked thinking about a Zelda tier list, so I just decided to make a Zelda tier list because I can do what I want here. Also, I mean, again, this is the tier list of my favorite games. It is not ranked on anything even remotely objective. But yeah, so Phantom Hourglass has substantial design flaws. The Temple of the Ocean King could have been a lot better than it was, and I think that Spirit Tracks did just about everything that it did wrong better. And I will readily admit, Chugga Conroy also played through Phantom Hourglass in the relatively recent past. And one of the only actual complaints that he registered about the game is that the soundtrack wasn't good. And I will readily admit that I cannot off the top of my head remember a single song from Phantom Hourglass other than Linebeck's theme, which should really be in Smash Brothers. It is a travesty that Linebeck has a facility in Smash Ultimate and it uses Triforce Heroes music. But it's like Linebeck's theme and the Great Sea theme, which is derivative of the Wind Waker Great Sea theme. So yeah, that's not great. But I just really like Phantom Hourglass. I'm not even gonna... there's nostalgia there. I've said before and I'll say again, it's not an objective ranking. I just like it. I just think it's neat. So, now that I have this whole list written out, anything I want to change? I think I might bump Hyrule Warriors up a little bit. And I might actually put Zelda 1 above Wind Waker. I really like Zelda 1. Full disclosure, I'm planning Zelda 1 as a palate cleanser project. Like, after I finish Mother 3. And there was a part of me that was considering just starting it early tonight. I decided against it. I decided I'd just play some Parallel Worlds, and I did play like 40 minutes of Parallel Worlds, and then I was like, what if I made a tier list instead? So, oops. But yeah, I really like Zelda 1. I think as a game designer, there's just something really interesting about NES games to me. And it's not like there haven't been a million other games that tried to be Zelda 1. I mean, Zelda 1 essentially created a genre of game. It's one of the first action-adventure games. So, I mean, it also spawned a series that's been going on for 35 years as of this year. So, that much is telling enough, I think. I have played them. I've only played them once. And I did enjoy them. I still might move Ages up to low A tier. It's hard for me to rank them separately. I prefer the focus on puzzles to the focus on combat, because I think that puzzles are a stronger quality of the Game Boy Color hardware restrictions than combat is. But it's so difficult to rank the two separately. They kind of meld together to me, because I've only ever played them together once. It's still kind of funny to me that Hyrule Warriors is even on this list to begin with. Let's see. This is a list of 20 games? I think 20. I think I did play Seasons before I played Ages the first time that I did it. I'd have to double check. I don't remember. I don't remember. Again, the linked game concept is super fascinating to me, and I feel like if I did replay them, they'd probably go up quite a bit. Because, I mean, they're Zelda games co-developed by Capcom, and not only did Capcom make Mega Man, which is one of my favorite series. Don't get me started on trying to make a Mega Man tier list. That might be a thing for another stream. But Capcom also co-developed Minish Cap, and that's my favorite Zelda game. So there's clearly something there. Have I committed any other egregious sins of opinion aside from ranking Ocarina of Time around the halfway point of a list? And Link to the Past not much higher? Honestly, it's always funny to me. Whenever I look up, like, every so often, there will be a magazine or random website that's like, let's make an article that ranks the Zelda games. And sometimes I'll look them up, and every single time, I don't think I've seen a different, or I don't think I've ever seen a group make a Zelda tier list that didn't put either Ocarina of Time or Link to the Past on top. GameCube is the only version of Twilight Princess that I've never played at all. I'd like to replay, or I'd like to actually play the HD remake beyond what I did that first Extra Life stream like 5 years ago. But, I mean, again, I don't consider any of these games to be bad. I just wasn't a huge fan of Twilight Princess. And I think it's relatively clear. Maybe it's not, just looking at the relative rankings, but I definitely do prefer 2D Zelda to 3D Zelda. Partially, I think I process two-dimensional space better than three-dimensional. I mean, I don't have depth perception, but I don't know, there's a charm to the 2D Zelda games that I think is very different from that of the 3D games. And it's a shame that pretty much the only games that get represented in large-scale spin-offs are 3D games. I mean, Hyrule Warriors. There are Hyrule Warriors Legends. The 3DS version was a little bit better about this in its DLC. And that's fair. The DS games are an acquired taste for a lot of people. I grew up playing them, so I'm perfectly fine with them. But in the original release, Hyrule Warriors focused on Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. The DLC for Hyrule Warriors added stuff from Majora's Mask, it added stuff from Majora's Mask. I don't remember. It might have been Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess that the DLC for the original added. I'm gonna pull up another one of my old spreadsheets because I'm insane and make spreadsheets too readily. Yeah, back in 2016, I made a spreadsheet about a hypothetical Switch release of Hyrule Warriors that added another wave of DLC. Since they'd had a wave of DLC on the Wii U and the wave of DLC on the 3DS, I don't mind the fact that they didn't have another wave of DLC. But that's totally fair. With the exception of the CDI games, I do not believe there are bad Zelda games. Yeah, okay. So the first Hyrule Warriors added a Twilight Princess DLC pack and a Majora's Mask DLC pack on top of what was already in the game. Hyrule Warriors Legends focused more on the handheld games with its DLC. I mean, it added stuff from Wind Waker, which was the only 3D Zelda game at the time that didn't have anything at all. Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 were kind of referenced already through the adventure mode, but then the 3DS DLC added stuff from Link's Awakening, from Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, which really just focused on Spirit Tracks aside from the adventure map, and Link Between Worlds. So they're just... I mean, I think it's telling that there wasn't anything in the first Hyrule Warriors that had anything to do with Link to the Past. It was so heavily focused on the 3D games. And don't get me started on the Zelda representation in Smash. I could go on about the Zelda representation in Smash. I'm definitely a little bit bitter that in a series that's existed for 35 years and existed for a solid, like, 12-ish of those years before there were any 3D games. I'm not bitter that there is a single stage in Smash that represents well, I guess 2 stages counting the Spirit Tracks stage, which is a little weird, but it still counts, and I do appreciate the Spirit Tracks stage. But the only 2D Zelda stage other than that is the temple, and there's not even that much music from the 2D Zelda games. The only character that's kind of from a 2D Zelda game is Zelda herself in Ultimate, and that's only because they gave her Link Between Worlds design. / Link to the Past. They're pretty much the same. Basically what I'm saying is, Vati for Smash. I would be the happiest, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. At this point I'm pretty much just rambling, so I think I'm going to end the stream. At some point, I really hope that I get the opportunity to play Four Swords Adventures with other people. That would be cool to get a re-release on the Switch. I think the Switch could handle it pretty well. But anyway, story streams have been weird this week. I've had a whole lot of not feeling like it. But I do plan to stream more Mother 3 on Saturday. And then something at some point next week, probably Tuesday. Anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry this got completely derailed and stopped even being me playing video games. But, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Yeah. Looking forward to Zelda 2:35, and, Ocarina of Time 7. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Good night, everybody.